It all began with the strange behavior of my dog, Max. He was usually calm and playful, but something had changed. Every night, just after midnight, Max would stand rigid by the basement door, growling low and staring down the dark stairs. At first, I brushed it off as him sensing normal nighttime noises, but soon the scratching began, soft, with slithering sounds echoing from below. Curiosity turned into unease. One night, flashlight in hand, I crept down the creaky wooden steps, my heart pounding louder than the beam cutting through the darkness. In the corner, coiled on the dirt floor, was a massive snake. It wasn't a garden variety snake. This one looked ancient, its scales dark as obsidian, glistening under the light. I froze. Max didn't bark or growl. Instead, he sat down calmly beside the serpent, tail wagging slightly, as if greeting an old friend. The snake lifted its head slowly, its cold eyes meeting mine with something almost human. Neither of them moved, locked in silent watchfulness. I slammed the basement door shut, hands trembling. Max paced nervously, glancing back at the door as if warning me. I called animal control the next day, but by the time the officers arrived, the snake had vanished without a trace. Max snarled at them like they were intruders. The nightly visits resumed. Around 12:13 a.m. sharp, the snake would emerge from a crack in the basement floor, and Max would be waiting. They'd stare at each other, statuesque and still, before settling near a curious spiral pattern scorched into the dirt, something that hadn't been there before. The house grew colder at night. Strange whispers seemed to crawl through the air vents, just beyond hearing, making me shiver. Sleep fled me as dread took hold. Whatever the snake and Max were guarding, I feared it was more than just an animal secret driven by growing anxiety. I confronted my dog about his obsession with the basement, trying to keep him upstairs. But Max was stubborn. One night, when I tried to lock the basement door, he bit my hand, a sharp warning I couldn't ignore. I needed answers. I visited Mr. Harrell, an elderly neighbor who had lived here for decades. His eyes darkened when I described the snake and Max's strange behavior. "You saw it, didn't you?" he whispered. I nodded. "Don't dig. Some doors are meant to stay closed." Ignoring his warning, I waited for daylight and then returned to the basement. The spiral marking was clearer now, etched deep into the earth. Digging carefully, I soon unearthed a heavy, old wooden trapdoor sealed with rusted iron. As I brushed the dirt away, a chilling sensation crawled up my leg. The snake appeared again, curling around my ankle, but Max stood quietly beside it, not attacking, just guarding. Their loyalty wasn't to me. It was to something below. That night, I left the trapdoor uncovered. At 12:13 a.m., I watched as Max and the snake returned, standing side by side, motionless, guarding the entrance. I realized then they weren't protecting the house. They were protecting what lay beneath, unable to resist. The next day, I forced the trapdoor open. A cold, foul smell rushed out like a breath from a tomb. Max howled mournfully. The snake hissed sharply and lunged, not to attack, but to push me back. Ignoring the warnings, I descended into the narrow tunnel beneath. The walls were covered with the same spiral symbols, pulsating faintly under my flashlight. At the center lay a pit. Movement inside caught my eye. Something with too many limbs, shimmering scales, and a grotesquely faceless head. It watched me with unseen eyes. A voice echoed inside my mind, clear and terrifying. "You broke the seal." Panicked, I scrambled back, the snake tightening its coil around my legs like a tether. Max barked frantically from above, as if pleading for me to leave the thing undisturbed. That night, the house trembled. The spiral on the basement floor glowed ominously. Max lay over the trapdoor, his body tense. The snake curled tightly around him. The whispers had grown louder, chanting, calling. They weren't just guarding anymore. They were holding it back. And deep down, I knew if one of them ever faltered, it would break free.